Hello and apologies for the delay getting started. I'm getting my head all around these different ways of cabling and stuff. And for some reason, when I started the game, I get loads of screen tear and stuff. So I had to change a lot of my VGAs and stuff. And honestly, it's already tired me out before I've already even started. So I'm playing Way of the Samurai 3. Way of the Samurai 3, if anyone is aware of that. I'm not sure. I don't know how much I care. I played on Way of the Samurai 1 and 2 in the past before. And yeah, it's a bit of an interesting one. Haven't done any balancing in the game, so forgive me if the audio is coming through a bit loud. I'm just going to bring that volume for us now. One very quick tick. Yeah, so apologies for that coming over really loud to you. But there we go. Okie dokie. Really should have had all this sorted before I even started, but you know, we're not all perfect, guys. As much as we try to be, as much as I strive for it, we're not. So, you know, chin up. That's what I think. What am I talking about? I don't know. Right, so this is my first solo stream. Normally I'm alongside either Paddy or Al, or with them both normally, and we all talk to each other and bounce off each other. But now, oh, we have Scouse Mouse with us. Thanks for joining me, buddy. I really appreciate it. Or else I feel like I'm talking at literally nobody. But, you know, it's all good practice at the end of the day. Right, I'm going to start a game anyway. So it seems like you can customise different styles. It's all just boring options, whether or not it's in English or Japanese. Normally when I play these sorts of games, I normally find the English voice acting unbearable, and I normally play it in Japanese. But you know what? Seeing as I'm in stream and it might be a bit of a giggle, I'm going to go with English. Why not? Different options, you know. I don't know how much I can. Let's just start. Let's just see what happens. Difficulty level, I mean, normal. Seems a great way to put on. The name, what's the most samurai-y samurai-y? Yeah, that's the thing. Samurai-y name I can think of. Now, when we did the original Way of the Samurai, we did that on One Life Review back in the early days. I believe our samurai name then was Barry, which yeah, I'm not sure if people how people would feel. Oh, please do. Please fire a lot of questions at me, Scouse Mouse, because if not, I'll just be expressing my inner thoughts, which can only lead to really bad things, I think. So, a very samurai name. I'm going to go with a Derek. Derek for me, if I was in feudal Japan during the end of the samurai era and I come across someone called a Derek, I would be absolutely mortified. It's not hack and slash, no, it's a really odd kind of RPG, choose your own kind of dialogue tree, very early sort of really weird game. Like, if you ever get a chance, play on the first one or first two. They're really odd games. I'm not sure how it's moved on over time, because obviously this is the third one. I believe that this came out during the PlayStation 3 era, whereas the original one, the first one, came out on the PlayStation 2, and I remember playing that thinking, oh god, this is really cool for like a PS2 era game. But yeah, cancel name entry and return to the character settings screen. No, I just want to play the video game, please. Finish name entry. Oh, appearance. Appearance is always good fun. That is quite a great samurai head. I like their little sound effects. There we go, yeah. Star Trek or Star Wars? Good question. Star Wars, I'd say. I don't know. I mean, I'm not really one who sits on one side or the other. I can enjoy both because you know, as much as people like to argue about it, they're two completely different properties that are completely different. The only thing they share is they're set in space. And the fact that they got the first word star, and got quite a large cult following. But I think if I was to say that one was to be purged from history for the rest of time and the other one was to stay, I probably would say Star Wars. I'd probably say overall I got more enjoyment out of Star Wars altogether. How about yourself? Right, so we've gone for an outfit and we've gone for a head. Derek is looking very samurai. Weapons, I assume you've only got one. So when I used to play on the previous game, this is one of the games who's got quite a lot of different like endings. Got like 15 or so. But what happens is when you finish the game, all of your swords that you're holding get stored, and then you can use those swords to start up like your next game. So it's one of those games that's supposed to be replayed through over and over again. You can do like the good story, the bad story. Yeah, I mean, what is this a game about? Well, the Way of the Samurai series normally takes a really similar formula, which is basically it lands like a traveling samurai into a town, and then you kind of choose what you do in that town, and there's usually a few factions that you can join, and a few different story threads that you can follow, or you can just choose just to ignore it and be a lone wanderer. Oh, hey Judith, how's it going? Sorry, I thought that original message was sent by Scouse Mouse. I had no idea it was Judith. My bad. So here's our intro. War breeds war, apparently. Which I think's true, you know. I have nothing to add to that. Context. We've learnt we're in a town called Amana. A-M-A-N-A. I have no idea how you'd actually pronounce that. Amana. I don't know. I assume I don't have the right, the very right. No, it's gone. Screw it. As a starter, sometimes it's best just to know when you've been beaten and move forward. So, looks like this game started in the rain, which, as far as I remember, most good games do. I am really well, Judith. Thank you for asking. You know, very bored on a Saturday, and I wanted to see if Paddy or Al were free for a stream, but apparently they both have a social lives, whereas unfortunately I've got nothing better to do with my life. Right, so I have stumbled upon. Oh, I got a button there. Let's press it. Oh. Okay, I've kind of tried to pull out my blade in front of these two innocent men, who I assumed would have helped me. But see, you can kind of do like, I'm going to be a good samurai or a bad samurai, or I can be, you know, a thief, a hero, you know, that kind of choose your samurai kind of game. Okay, so you got an option here. I can choose to kneel or not. I think that's kneel. Oh, apparently he's the root of all evil, whoever that is. He's a bastard. I can pull out my sword on this guy, but I don't think I will. I'm gonna see how this plays out. I mean, if we both regard this, Judith, because you're saying here you don't have a social life either, clearly, as you're watching this. If we both regard what we're doing now as social interaction, then I think we can full well say that we have social lives by proxy to each other through this chat. You seen The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise? Love that film. Yeah, I mean, I actually watch. I don't know if you do a Scouse Mouse, but I watch a lot of the Chinese martial arts, like all the Hong Kong martial arts films, like all the Donnie Yen films, all of them. I think they're absolutely brilliant. I do like The Last Samurai. Yeah, it's kind of a really good way to introduce Western audiences to you know those sorts of films. But if you haven't seen any, I'd heartily go and recommend looking up some Chinese martial art films, more specifically Hong Kong, and ones that are done with Donnie Yen, because they're just absolute spectacles. Paddy P-Man, Mr. P-Doo. I was veering dangerously close to saying pedo there, which I didn't mean. I meant to say p-dog, and it come out as pedo. So yeah, I somewhat I'll apologise for it, maybe. So yeah, I do have a very soft spot for Chinese Hong Kong martial art films. They're just, you know, absolutely mind-blowing. Western films just can't do the way that they can. I have no idea what I'm doing, by the way. I'm just running around aimlessly. So normally the way these are structured is you sort of wander around. You can kind of choose what to do what you want. There's usually a couple of factions littered around, and you choose to join one, and you kind of follow individual story threads until you get through to the sort of end game. But it's all time based, so you can literally waste the whole time period here and achieve nothing and get the worst ending sort of thing. So okay, I can blunt my sword, so if I want to hurt somebody, that's pretty cool. That's quite authentic. The host with the most, I think you mean, from Paddy. Yeah, you always have been the host with the most. That's our little secret. See, I wish you'd said that's our little secret prior to that, because now I feel like I've said it out loud now. And more like a hard spot zing. I've already forgotten what that was in response to, my good friend, but I'm sure it was a zinger, mate. Right zinger. You must not see me here. I'm a bit hurt. Okay, let's talk to you. What are you doing? Did he just come at me? A Masayoshi? Maybe. What is? Oh my god. No. I disagree with that. Fundamentally. Oh god, I'm in trouble. Just go away. How do I switch the lock on? Okay. Right trigger, we've established that. Oh, no. I went to this map with really low health. This might be the shortest samurai experience ever. Oh, I pulled away my sword. Because from what I remember, I think this game's got permadeath as well, so as soon as you sort of die, it's the end of your samurai story. Right, I've got one of the fuckers. And Masayoshi. It serves him right for coming at me with all of his madness. Oh, that's a good question from Scousemass. You must destroy every Zelda game or every Final Fantasy game. Which is it? I'll probably have to destroy every Final Fantasy game and keep the Zelda. You can't. I mean, Final Fantasy is a great franchise. I'm not going to say it's not. And, you know, it probably should be held in the same regard as The Legend of Zelda. But for consistent, high quality games, and yeah, I know people have their problems with a Skyward Sword and probably, you know, a few others, but if you take each of them as a standalone game, they're all absolutely brilliant. I really can't think of one that I don't really enjoy. Whereas Final Fantasy, there's a lot of great ones in there, but there are also ones that aren't so great. And, you know, I think the bar in Final Fantasy is much lower than what it is in The Legend of Zelda, personally. Anyway. Judith mentions he's asked me very random questions, which well, you know what, he's actually doing on purpose, and I actually fully appreciate, because if he wasn't asking me random questions, I'd literally be sitting here talking about like the colour of my poo or something. So if I was you, I'd be very grateful. To be fair, just for clarity, the colour of my poo is relatively normal. But we have a cutscene, so I've come across a situation. I don't know what the L2 left trigger action is. It looks like a kneel, so sort of I can bend the knee, if you were. Who are you? I'm Derek. Derek the Samurai. I plan on getting in your way. I think this is the way that we're going to have to play this one, guys. This samurai just gets in every fight he can possibly can.
Are you one of Fujimori's men?
Who fuck's Fujimori?
Don't let him get away alive.
Yeah, Judith, yeah, I know, I'll join in. Yeah, please do. Please join in. Ask me random questions. Like I said, I mean, it's kind of all... there we go. I died. Guys, that's the end of that. Samurai. So we've learned, Derek the Samurai didn't really stand for much. He got in 2 fights and he lost the second one. Samurai rank of 10%. His title is a Wanderer, and his Samurai points is 50, which, I mean, I've never earned a single a Samurai point in my life, so I assume that's a large amount of Samurai points. Yeah, there we go. So, 8 minutes. I didn't have any sleep time. Killed 2 guys, though. So, he killed 2 and died once. So, in terms of population control, that's a positive move, I feel. There are loads of things you can seem to do with it. Obviously, we're going to get really into this, but obviously you can see that you can apologise. I assume that's what, like, the kneeling thing is, perhaps. Successful job, conversations, kill rate, bare hands rate, vegetables consumed, which I feel is a very important a metric that's often missed out in video games. Yeah, we're going to have some depth to get into it. Well, not some depth, but I think there's more to this than meets the eye. Save current game data. Why not? So, save, yeah, cool. Why not? So does it mean I can carry on with that? Because obviously, well, as I mentioned before, the first 2 anyway that are from my off were a permadeath. Okay, no. Yeah, were a permadeath. I'm not sure if this works the same way, whether it's got like a checkpoint system or not, but you pretty much, you play your samurai story. Let's go on to continue game. So we'll start with this guy. Oh, again, it's going to start as from the start of the story again. So Derek is no more. I'm taking suggestions from the chat for the most samurai name, and in the meantime I'm gonna look at questions. So Judith asks, okay then, what country other than the UK would you want to live in? Holland. Just because you know what, like, I've been to Amsterdam loads of times and I really enjoy it there. If I was for some reason banished from the UK, because personally I don't think I would like to move out of the UK. I think I've always would like to stay in the UK. Not that I'm sort of closed-minded and not open to travel and try new experiences. I just think people, as much as we whinge here in the UK, people actually don't realise that the UK is a brilliant place. I love the UK. I think, as much as people can whinge about the weather and stuff, we have got great things. We've got bourbon biscuits, and other stuff. I thought of one thing, but I'm sure if you give me 2 days and plenty of time what to think about it, I will have something for that. Favourite fast food? I'm going to Burger King. Favourite fast food? Very good question. I mean, I eat a lot of fast food. I'm not here to say that I'm sort of health food nut or anything. I think my favourite one, KFC, which is obviously hilarious over the recent controversy with them running out of chicken. Which I think is hilarious, because if you go to the beach and they had no like sand, you'd be pretty upset. So our next samurai name is going. Judith, I did not know you were Dutch. I did not. It is a wonderful country, and I applaud you from being from the correct place, which sort of implies there's a incorrect place you can be from, but ignore that. Paddy says Brexit means Brexit, which, you know what, normally a word does also mean the word. So, a poo means poo, Tuesday means Tuesday. So, I like your point. George, we were going to go Trevor. Trevor's going to be our next samurai, but we've had a suggestion from Judith for George. So, Judith, whereabouts in Holland do you live? If that's not, it feels a little bit, intrusive that, but I don't care. I ask what I want. It's my stream. Paddy and Al aren't here to rein me in. Say what I can and can't say. Censor me. Paddy M, don't patronise me. Well, you're not here to defend yourself, so I can patronise you as much as I want. Very interesting there. First time that I said it, I pronounced it patronise, and the second time I said patronise. I don't know what that means, but I'm raised from different places in the UK. I find that sometimes I pronounce the same words in 2 different ways depending on where I structure it in a sentence, which is really weird. But I was sort of born in the south of the country, and then I spent my teenage years in the north of the country, and then I spent most of my adult life in like the middle of the country. So I don't really have a distinct rural accent, as much as I would love one. And you know which one I'd like, don't you? Paddy adds to the conversation Spunkatron and Robot Spunker, which I feel is very helpful. I feel is really moved us forward. How do I start a game? I need to... You know, one thing I am struggling with here is playing the game and talking at the same time. I can only do one thing at a time, which, in terms of streaming ability, is not the best. But you know what? It's my stream. I do what I want. So this is George the Samurai, who actually, weirdly enough, I should have done a little bit more customization. He looks exactly the same as Derek, what a samurai. I wanted that to be the name of the character from a Paddy. Oh, that was Spunkatron or Robot Spunker, which I suppose if I come across a samurai called Robot Spunker or even Spunkatron, I'd be quite unsure. So I think confusion can be like a weapon. So okay, this time, the last time I did this, Derek pulled out his sword straight away because I just saw that come up. I was like QTE and I hit it, but it appears like it's a choice thing. So, oh, dialogue options. I've been better. I need to not do that as well. That's a no. I can see the river of death or leave me alone. I think that's quite a poetic.
Hey, what's wrong?
Ooh. Although they seem to be doing it as well. Though. Oh, what's wrong? So I feel like if they're doing it, I can do it.
Did he just die?
Paddy, rest in peace, Spunkatron the Samurai. I mean, he can still make an appearance. Who knows?
We don't have a
Who
choice.
knows?
We got to get him to the village.
Oh, so this way, when I didn't pull out my sword, it seems like these two guys helped me into the village, whereas last time I just seemed to chase them away with my sword. Narrative threads, eh? So yeah, this might give you like a bit of an idea of what the way of the samurai games are like. They're normally, to actually complete a way of the samurai from start to end, you know, and actually get to a proper finish. It only takes a couple of hours at most. Well, on the first two anyway. But obviously, I think from what I remember, there's a good 15 or 20 different endings. So yeah, it has a lot of replay value. So now I've come into the game with full health as opposed to partial health, which is always a good sign. Scoutmask asks, can you speak any other languages at all? Weirdly enough, I can't. But I was talking to Paddy about this last night because Paddy's is one of those very fortunate folk who are bilingual. I believe he speaks English, French, and from what I remember, a little bit of German. And a conversation I was having with him, which I was really curious about, because I don't really know many people that are bilingual, and Paddy's naturally bilingual from quite a young age. And I was asking him about whether or not his internal thoughts, whether they were in French or whether they were in English. And yeah, I was just trying to find out if there was sort of certain circumstances where perhaps when you're angry, your internal monologues are in French, but perhaps when you're, you know, normal, they're in English. Well, you know, that's I should have probably read that, but you know, what do you want? Leave me. Okay, all right. Oh, who are you? Why are you so angry? Yeah, that's a fair question. Why are you so angry? Because you brought the scent of war to the village. Well, that's just fucking charming, isn't it? The scent of war. You bring the scent of, you know, scent of pessimism. You know, don't hear me whinging about it. Let me ask you a question. Why are you a samurai? So I can become ruler of all. So I can fight heroically as a warrior. Yeah, I think that would be the answer I'd give. I've never really given it much thought, you know. A samurai is as a samurai does, my friend. Judith argues, I would argue that I'm your most loyal fan. Yeah, actually, I would argue the same. You've been with us from very early days. Am I right in thinking that you know Alistair? Or am I just I'm making that up? Paddy says, sometimes when I'm pissed off, I'll swear in French, but I wouldn't necessarily thinking it. Yeah, I think that it kind of makes sense that you'd have like a dominant a language if you're bilingual, and that would be your internal monologue. So, oh, Come on, give me a little kiss. Oh, perhaps I can save this woman. I believe George might be a bit of a hero as opposed to a sort of, hey, what is it? You got a problem? You're not planning on drawing your weapon with the left. Oh, look at you, tutorializing me. Stop it. Right, I'm going to do this. Come on. I need to work out how to use this. Come on. This guy's called Thug, whereas the people I fighting for had actual names. Oh, I don't know how to block. That's run. That's to pray. That's to apologize. Oh, and that's to put your weapon. How do I block? Oh my god. No, that's weapon away. We've established that, Mac. There's block. There we go. Did that just in time. Okay, we are starting to learn things. Judith says, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I remember. I think every time we get a fan, especially in the early days, but every time we got a fan, we would the first question we ask each other is, does anyone know who this person is? Because obviously it's trying to tell the difference between someone who's found us through our means of a promotion versus someone who's found us. That's a villainous act. Really? Was it? Thank you for saving me. My name's Chidori. Oh, she's the tutorial. Okay, we found the woman, Mrs. Tutorial. If anything you don't understand, let me know. Okay, explain everything. George, isn't that the name of a samurai? Yeah, see, Judith, you chose a good name. Even Mrs. Tutorial will believe so. So Scouse Master asks, which Rocky film is the best? That's a really good question. Rocky 2 was... I mean, Rocky 2 I really enjoyed. You know, Rocky eventually beating Apollo Creed. I'd probably say it's the best fight out of the whole series. Rocky 4, you know, that's brilliant. Creed for me is one that I wasn't. I'm actually quite a fan of the Rocky stories, and I wasn't too bothered by the idea of Creed. But when I watched it, that absolutely blew me away. I was really impressed by Creed. So yeah, I'm probably gonna say, if I had to go with all, like if it was a good old, you know, we purge everything else from existence and there's only one more left, I'd probably say a Rocky 2. Oh, I've come across another cutscene. It's a bit unnerving that I can pull out my sword on this a little boy. Is that something George will do? I don't believe. Oh, did I? Oh, I thought I accidentally did that. Yeah. Judith said, yeah. He told me, yeah. Yeah. We obviously is that to start the first 20 or 30 subs that you get are normally friends and friends of friends and all that kind of stuff. That's what we kind of expected, and obviously it's not a case of saying that you're not as a valued fan. We still really appreciate it. It's just obviously trying to work out which ones are coming from the areas of a promotion we do, and so we can work out which. I feel like I'm over explaining myself, which, you know, kind of is the point in the stream, I suppose, but because if not, I'll just be again talking about the various shades of my poo again. I'm going to teach you a lesson or calm down, kid. Now, I wasn't paying attention, so I'm just going to say calm down, kid, because you know what, most children need to calm down. They get too overexcited. Oh. I mean, he's trying to hit me with his stick, and I've got a sword, so.
But that's enough.
Wow. See, I'm going a bit quiet now because I'm actually trying to absorb a tiny bit, which, you know, whether or not I should or should not do that. Again, I don't really care. Do you know any Dutch words from Judith? I actually don't. I don't. It's not out of arrogance. It's just out of stupidity more than anything. So I'm afraid I don't. But I'm more than happy for you to share whichever Dutch words you think I would need to in order just to cope with Holland. I have no idea. Okay, so something happened there. They had a little chillmongers. There are people who complain that they are poor, but they're less fortunate for the Jesuits around. You know what? That's a very a positive way to see things. There's always someone above us or below us. Everything in moderation is best. I think that's fair. I think that's pretty damn fair. I'm going to take those thoughts with me straight to bed. and commit them to my memory. So I seem to be wandering around aimlessly. We found there's a jump button, so that's okay. I assume there's a map. Normally in these games there's a map of some kind. So, oh, there's little icons. I've got a job behind me. Key person. Oh, let's go and see those key people. Which are at the other end. I've got a home as well apparently. But I think key people is a good thing. Key people, I believe, is going to progress things forward. I think. I don't know. Judith says, well, I'm sure you know a few words because some words in English are the same or practically the same as ours. Judith, I wouldn't hedge your bets on that. There's quite a lot of the English language I don't have a clue about. You know, English language is a portfolio, and I only have a limited storage capacity. Well, he's got some badass horns. Look at that. What's his name? Name the samurai. I was like, oh, let's have a talk with him. Watch where you. All right. Hey, wait up, you're the samurai. I'm in charge of defending the spot, don't ya? Come acting bossy. Got that? Then scram. I'll kill you before I go. I'm not listening to you. Hey, I have an idea. Heh, I thought you'd say that. I was actually waiting for someone like you to come and back me up. So hang in there for me, okay? I'll certainly try. Scousemaster, have you played this one before, or only the prequels? Only the prequels. I've only ever played Way of the Samurai 1 and 2, which were on the PlayStation 2. Now, it's really weird, because I owned a PlayStation 2, and after sort of that generation, the next console I went to was the Xbox 360, and I kind of never really went to the PS3, so I couldn't actually carry on the series, but I noticed them on Steam for, like, Way of the Samurai 3 and 4, relatively well priced, so I thought, you know what? I thought the first two were very different for their time, so I thought I'd give them a go. Oh, this is the woman who talked to me about the guy. Okay. I beg of you, just leave. Okay. I can do that. Okay, let's look at the map again. So I assume that's one of the key people, right? Maybe? Yeah. So there's someone straight in front of me, and there's someone behind me around the corner. Now, I feel like I've already talked to this dude. Fool. I was a samurai long ago, so I know how ridiculous samurai are. I mean, I'd say samurai are a lot of things. Ridiculous is not one of them. I'd say, you know, a clown is ridiculous. You know, a jester or something that's ridiculous. A samurai is more, you know, if you don't like them, at least call them brutal or too violent, or, you know, morally a bankrupt or something. You know, don't call them, you're so ridiculous. Cool. That's that little dude. He's telling me to go away. Get out of this village now. Why do you hate me so much? Because my sister hates samurai. She really hates them. Got anything to say about that, huh? I'm gonna fucking slice you up, mate. I mean, how do you feel then? Alright. What do you care about what I think? Alright. George seems to have gotten a lot of hate, so I think I'm gonna leave this area and see if there's anything else going on in this world. So we've managed to get to 2:20 in the afternoon on the first day of Way of the Samurai. Oh, there's a sword here from a person I killed. It's called a dull sword, but there you go. I now have 3 swords on me. So this, the way your swords work as well, you can get them upgraded and stuff. So you see those 2 bars at the bottom. The bottom was my health, and that one that's in 3 chunks at the bottom in white, that's like your blade. I suppose the best way to call it is stamina. I don't know. It's like basically when that bar fills up, if it fills up all the way, one of those chunks will break off and your blade will degrade, and eventually if you end up with 0 bars and they all go, then your sword will break. So you need to make sure you keep your sword nice and repaired, and you don't use it too much spamming buttons and stuff, or else it will just smash. So you need to plan your attacks and such. Well, I assume so. I assume that's the idea. So I'm going to go to a Mickey Town, wherever that is. Judith Westerman, do you play any instruments? I play piano, yeah. I play a bit of piano, a bit of stuff. I can kind of strum a few chords on a guitar as well, but not with any kind of skill. I did a show at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival in 2012, I don't know, where I played a song on a guitar, but that was purposely played really poorly, and I only had to learn 3 chords that I just went round over and over. So yeah, I can. I don't profess to be good at anything, but I'm okay at piano and just passable on a guitar. Okay. So what's this person want here? I'm gonna have a swig of my drink, I'm just gonna go over there.
You're only the second person I've smelled. The other was.
And my table's over there, and I could put a drink here, but then it's really loud every time I pick it up and put it down. It's better for me just to slide off for a mo, you know. Don't worry though, I'm still here. Chill your whiskers.
Your smell may be stronger.
But your smell may be stronger. Why does everyone keep talking about my smell? Can I? Is there an option to have a shower? I mean, is that a thing that people do? Well, obviously it is a thing that people do. People shower in general, I hope. I try to. I showered before this stream. You know, thought it's. If you're gonna come on a live stream, you might as well, you know, have a bit of bloody respect. And if you're gonna bring your face into it, might as well give it a good scrub. You know. So that woman had some stuff to say, I'm sure, which was interesting. Come in, Mr. Samurai. Is there anything you need? I assume this is like the shopping district, maybe. A lot of people sort of shouting out to me. I do like how nearly all the NPCs have a name. You know, I assume they've got. Oh, this is Dojima, isn't it? This guy is in all of the Way of the Samurai games. Normally the blacksmith. If you actually go and watch our One Life, you know. Shameless plug. One Life review of Way of the Samurai, the first one, is actually like one of the very early One Life reviews he did. I think it was only the 5th or the 6th one. Yeah, I believe this guy killed me when I tried to get him to upgrade my weapon, and I didn't pay him for his work. Oh, what's that? That's a hoe. A hoe not being that effective as a weapon for a weapon. Scouse Mouse is pleased to know that I scrubbed up for him, which, you know, I'm glad you're pleased that I made the effort, you know, because I hadn't showered in about 2 days, and I thought, you know what, this is a good enough reason to oh, mushrooms. We all love mushrooms. I haven't worked out how to pick things up other than to just kick them, although I'm sure there's a button for it. So I'm starting to feel like I'm wasting time on this game. Like I said, it's one of those games where things will happen if you're there or not. What did I study? What did you study? Are you talking about when I was at university? When I was at university, I studied sociology, which since graduating 10 years ago, Jesus. I graduated 10 years ago. I have not used my degree once. It's been very helpful for fuck all. But, you know, I won't have that take away from my experience there. So yeah, I studied sociology when I was at university. That was my degree of choice for my sins. I have no idea where I'm going here. Oh, this guy looks massive. We should start a fight with him. Jitaro. Ha ha ha. No one, never met no one stronger than me. I can arm wrestle better than the boss even. You want to be my underling? Why don't you be mine? Oh, like that. What did he say? I'm going to smack you down for talking to me. Oh god. Oh god, he might be one of the main characters which I've just incited. Come on then. I'm ready for this. Although I feel like I'm so short, he can't actually hurt me. Like, I'm not even blocking there. Look, he just seems to miss. Yeah, taste it. Mummy, it hurts. Oh, and I get his big ass sword. I'm taking that. Oh, you can only hold up to 3 swords at once. And I picked up 2 dull blades, so. And then I'm going to get this one instead. So now, if I wanted to use that sword, I get a nice big, called an upper stance sword. You see the durabilities of 2. That's the number of those grey bars that I was Turn you guys up. Sorry, I'm getting a pop filter here because I'm. There we go. That's got 2 bars of durability. So if I equip that now, get a nice massive sword that I can use, which looks slightly ridiculous, but I am not going to use it because it's only got 2 lots of durability, which means it will probably break really easily. But you can take it to the blacksmith, who'll increase the durability. But to do that, you need to earn money, and to earn money, you need another one. I thought he was like a unique a character, but it just seems to be one of the grunt types. Again, let's have a look at the map, see what I can work out what I'm supposed to do here. So you've got a job. Let's head to that. So from where I am, turn right, first left, to the end and left. Yeah, good. So turn right, first left, to the end and left. Look at that. It's a bit tasty, that is. I assume it's going to be this guy over here with the instrument on it. Is that an instrument? Is that a lute or something? Oh, I assume it's a Chinese Chinese fiddle, which probably isn't, because it's not in China. It's in Japan, which. Okay, I think I've convinced him to play as. Oh, so this is how you save. Okay, so you can save by talking to these little dudes. That makes sense. Alright, so is this the job person? This person who gives me jobs? My name is Oreo. Yeah. Again, I handle things around here that others seem to avoid. That's why they call me the Overseer. Alright. Sounds like a bit. Oreo. I probably would say that. Do you have a stuttering problem? Well. Wow. Sour times. Judith asks, what's your favourite food? My favourite, I mean, it's a very broad question, isn't it? It sort of depends what you're in the mood for. There's no, it'd be one of those things you could say, okay, let's purge the world of everything apart from this one meal. But even if you choose the best thing, you'd probably eventually get. See, there's me not leaving my phone on silent. How awfully rude. But yeah, excuse me. My apologies. But yeah, my favourite food, I think if I was to say everything else to be purged and there was nothing, and you'd have to eat this for the rest of your life, I'd probably say something like a Sunday roast or something, because a Sunday roast has a lot of different components to it. So although you're eating the same thing every day, there's a lot of a variety on there. So you know, one day if you're not feeling it, you can just eat the mash. You know. What would you say your favourite food was then, if you were to choose a favourite? Let's say the rest of there's the aliens have come to planet Earth and they are going to purge us of all our food and say, but we're allowed to keep one meal that we can then clone and replicate and put into trays that get served out to mankind for the rest of existence. What meal would that be if you were to choose that? So I don't feel like I got a job there. I just feel like. Okay, I'm pressing buttons, which are, and I've restored my HP. Right, that's how you change weapon. So you hold down direction to change weapon. You change that to blunt it or not. There's my moderate blade, and I don't. See, now I don't know how to unblunt it. I'm so confused with these controls. I seem to switch between punching and thingy, but now I can't get that blunt thing off. Let's go to Castle Amana, whatever that is. Scout Smell says his favourite food is a good curry there, chicken madras preferably. So you're saying that everyone for the rest of time will have to eat chicken madras. That is a dark world. Judith Westerman adds curry is quite usual in the UK, right? It's really weird. I don't know if this is true or not. Like, you know, when you get told these things and you're not completely sure if they're true or not, but you still, you know, you go, oh, well, that could well be true. But I've heard that a curry is actually a British word. Can anyone confirm that's true? Something that obviously it's not used outside very much, outside of Western places anyway, And obviously, when if you were to head to India, it's not a word that's used because obviously that's just their food. Their individual food items are, as you say, a madras and all that. I mean, I've heard that. You know, like it's one of those things where you feel a bit like, is that true? But yeah, if anyone could confirm that for me, whether or not that's fact. Judith adds, geez, you make these questions so extra. I'm not saying that you have to eat it for the rest of your life. All right, I'm just, you know, I'm playing with it. Love spare ribs, but I wouldn't want to eat them for the rest of my life. I don't think anyone would want that for the rest of your life. It's a lot of the things I find with food on the bone is you have to fight with your food a lot. Whereas I'm a man of a simple taste, and I can't work out how to unblunt my bloody sword. I've done it, and I can't unblunt it. So I assume if I pull it out, he's going to use the blunt side of it. Yeah, he does. Which is a cool little feature that you can do that. But I'm a bit concerned I'm going to get in a fight and not be able to kill anyone for this whole thing. Which... yeah, I need to work out how to... I seem to be switching readily before with the blunt thing. But now when I press the button, it just seems to switch the weapon, not necessarily unblunt it. When I hold it, it does nothing. Oh, it seems to switch me to... fist if I hold it. Right direction, up direction, those are the individual items. Right stick, left stick, both triggers. A took me to travel somewhere. Okay, guys, help. Maybe it's to do with the air, but perhaps it's blunt because of the air I'm in. Perhaps it'll get in a fight, it'll be alright. Right? Right? There. Right, we found it, guys. It was the options button on an Xbox One controller, or what I always call the select button. I'm just running around randomly here now, which is kind of how you play Way of the Samurai most of the time. You run around randomly, hoping that you walking in the right place when a certain event happens that is key to the story of Way of the Samurai. And part of the whole thing is, like I said, playing through it multiple times in order to work out, you know, the whole plot thread of Way of the Samurai. So now we're gonna, I assume because it's night time, I'm probably gonna send him to bed. So I'll go over the bridge and turn left, and then the last building is what I need. So over the bridge, turn left, and where we land is what I need. The last hut, which is this one, is my home. Welcome to my humble abode. You can see here I've got, I mean, I would call them windows, but they're more gaps, I suppose. I've got, these are my pots. These are my two pots. You see the one on the back is fallen over. The one in front is standing up. That's not how I left them, so a full inquiry will take place. This is the sleeping area, which, you know, I have been known to frequent at times. This is where I keep my socks, which is very important for the samurai. And this is a shelf which I have not stored anything in yet because I have yet to decide to. So let's go to sleep and go to bed. Oh, you can actually switch to your shelf in your closet. There you go. But let's not do that. What time do I want to get up? Well, I mean, if it was in real life, I'd probably say, you know, in the afternoon at some point. But let's go for the morning. Let's go for the morning. That's good. I mean, this guy can sleep for 22 hours. I mean, that's goddamn impressive. But yeah, let's go with morning. Let's go with morning. I think morning's a great idea. So we're now on day 2 again. There's sometimes you find when you're playing through this story, you kind of lose. You kind of miss key moments, and then all of a sudden you're out of the main story and unable to get back onto it, and then your story ends really poorly. So I remember this just being one of those games where you just had to put the time in and learn where things were on the map, where things happened, and see, this seems to have a larger map which I haven't actually looked at. This is what we haven't seen. Oh, those exclamations might mean something. Let's head to them. So I assume if we head north, that will take us to a Mickey Town because we're in thingy. Or if we turn to the west, would go to Kuchi Hikidara, which I assume I pronounced that spot on. So Judith asks, how's this game going? To stay on the topic for the game, are you doing well? I don't really know. how's this game going? I mean, it's still early days. I think I need to really sort of try and sort of understand how it works. So I think I'm definitely making progress now that I've seen those little markers on the world map. I think they are kind of hints to go to those places and try and find some things that are going on in order to get onto a plot thread. So that's what I'm gonna do. Destination. Okay, right. Let's head up here and see what. So this takes us to Mickey Town, which I assume now, if I look at the world map whilst I'm on this, it will shows me what my okay, Mickey Town there. Cool. Goes up north. And am I doing well? I am doing well. Thank you, Judith. I'm doing pretty well. I've had a pretty good week. I've managed. Oh, these guys aren't happy with me. So, the game on. And he's going to help me. Oh, and his sword though. Look at that. That in the back guy, like the guy in the blue, he had like a rod thing. I want that. Which, you know, admittedly, he's trying to help me. I feel like these are the bad guys. These are like the evil faction. So it's not a bad thing that I haven't joined them. But this guy is getting a few chops in the Chozo. So a lot of the fighting on this is relatively simple, but it's a lot of a direction. So you know, you press. You got medium attack and you got light attack and heavy attack, and usually you press it with a direction that does a different thing, different sort of a combo. Normally, a defending and parrying and stuff's based upon. He's running off in fear. And that's what we want. And I win. So there we go. I win. So what else? I was heading to one of those markers, wasn't I? So let's have a look at that. So I am currently there, and I need to be going to the west. So if I keep going straight and find a path out from there, which looks like there's a building that I just have to go through that straight in front of me. Oh, it's not a building. It's more of a walkway, if you will. Come on in, Mr. Samurai. Okay, Castle Amana. Apparently there's something going on in Castle Amana, so let's go and have a look. So I believe I've been here before. Recruiter want to recruit me for their upcoming wars. I mean, I can't really tell whether these guys are evil or good. They just asked me if I want to join. And it's like, well, you know what? Explain to me what your values are, because you know, you might not stand for what I stand for. I might stand for, you know, cheese and pudding, and you might stand for global domination. You know, do our goals align? Yeah, go on then. Scotsman asks, do you guys take turns picking what you play on your channel? Does anyone ever veto a game? I don't think we've ever vetoed a game for each other. We generally take it in terms of what we play. We try and talk about, you know, trying to be selective in the games that we choose, and we're definitely learning about which games are friendlier for what sort of series that we do. As Paddy says here, you know, if it's pretty old, it's normally been played by me. Paddy plays a lot of the AAA games, and Al sort of just plays the same sorts of games over and over, really, because he doesn't have much skill. So looks like these are the guys that I was actually having a fight with before, and I've decided to join them. So George had a sudden change of heart, and once I could pull out. Oh yeah, let's just do that. Pull out my sword. Oh yeah, ultimate treachery. I'm gonna murder the main dude. They're so confused about why I pulled out my sword. He's just staring me down.
What are you doing? These men are here to fight. Do you think you are better?
I mean, I didn't say I was better. You're drawing a lot of lines there about. We will see.
Be patient. Put that away.
Not the first time I've heard that. Be patient and put that away.
The examination
You know.
will now start. Everyone, are you ready?
Ready? I mean, I don't really know what's going on. Fight.
Fight!
Oh, okay. We'll end up in a fight anyway. I want that guy. I want that guy's rod. I'm gonna murder him for his rod. I mean, again, a lot of things I'm saying tonight. If they are out of context, it's really Who's turned up to a samurai fight with a fucking broomstick? I mean, come on. Schoolboy, that is. Okay. I feel like I am impressing them. Oh, actually. Yeah. It takes my blocking skills. Okay, I'm going to take on the big dude. Oh, I can't. Someone else had already... Oh, look at that. I've learnt Twai Kwaifu. So there's something that you do. If you just keep, you know, trying different combos out, eventually you start learning them more and more. Oh. Okay, I like his style of sword, because you get different swords with different stances. I'm going to take that if I can. I want his thing. Free for all. I want that. Right, hang on. Wait, guys. Wait. Get rid of this dull play. Let's throw that. Hit him on the head. I want that thing. Oh, cool. Right, we are done. Right, me and you, son. There. And then there were two. Does that mean I won?
I accept your courage.
I accept your courage. But your skills need some work. I need to stop doing that. I mean, I don't need to. I feel like the voice actors in this are doing that, which, you know, I could do this. Would anyone ever consider playing any of the Fable games? I haven't played many games in general, but I've played 2 of those and I quite like them. Yeah, I really like the Fable franchise. I know there's a lot of haters for it, and the guy who created it, Peter Molyneux, is very well renowned amongst people who are into video games for embellishing a few details during the build-up towards those games. But they had proper charm to them. I really enjoyed the first one. I actually really enjoyed like the second one as well. The third one was a bit meh, but I still enjoyed it in its own way. I've heard a lot of rumours about a possible 4th one heading our way. I'm going to eat a mushroom, restore some health. So that'll be interesting. That'll be interesting to see it return. So I want to look at this thing. I'm going to equip this for a while. One round. I am a samurai who spears. I'm a speary samurai. So I've joined them. So I don't know what that now means. Assume if I go onto the map now, there might be a few different things. Okay. So let's go to Road. I think that's a great name for an area. Shall we go to the road? But road. Let's head that way. So that is going to be to the west. Which, if I go to the local map, I can have a look. Which would be to my left from where I currently stand. A mini map would be very helpful on this, but you know what? We can work with that. We can deal with that. Scouse Mouse says, if the Bard crew all had a multiplayer Grand Prix on Mario Kart, who wins? Oh, that's a very good question. I've never really seen Paddy's and Elle's racing skills. That's a very good... I don't know who would win that. That might be something we'll have to look into that one. Perhaps do that in a form of video. Unless that was your general idea of saying, you know what, do a video. Did I kick him there? Okay, when the birds seem to go, they make a swooping noise. That's kind of weird. Okay. Doesn't look like much of a road, this. This is more of just an area. I've seen a road before. And it doesn't look like this. Oh, mushrooms. I need a few of them. I mean, it's a mushroom. I can see it. Give me the fucking mushroom. There we go. Paddy said he's not great at races. Yeah, I kind of got the impression that you might not have been. That might have not been your bag. I imagine the 2 areas that you're not very strong with, Paddy, and correct me if I'm wrong, is probably races and fighting games. I don't know why I've made that judgment of you. I just have. Oh, I just joined your crew. You back out. You back away from me, sir. I am your superior now. I got promoted. Oh, bring it. Yeah, all right then. you want to have a fight in this river, we can do that. You taste my rod. Don't ever say that again. Oh, Defending the Game has joined us. Welcome, Defending the Game. Is this a Nathan or one of the other crew who have joined us? And they ask, we're going for 6 hours, I resume. I mean, I'm probably not going to go for 6. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. Gar is a very good point. 6 hours, probably not. I mean, we might do another stream a bit later on when a couple of the guys can join me, so I'm not just sort of talking into the wind, if you will. So if you were to combine this stream and that stream, it might a total up to 6 hours. You know, I come onto your guys' live stream last night and I saw that you guys were pulling in some numbers, so I just thought, and what? Nate Dogg is great to see you. I enjoyed your first 2 albums, and I'm very pleased that you could make your way onto the stream, although I had no idea you worked for Defending the Game. You know, I like to see you Nate's and Paddy M adds Natesaurus. It is a good point. I think he raises. Again, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm randomly running around hoping something will happen, which is kind of how you play the Way of the Samurai games, but I feel like I'm missing a trick here. So I've managed to get back to Takatane village when I thought I was on the road, so I'm going to try and get to Castle Minori, whatever that is. So if I head to the west, that should get me there. So where am I now? I am over there. Okay, so west is to my right. Okie dokie. And Nateruni is definitely. There's these different ways that we can add something onto Nate. And he also says I'm high. What? High on intoxicants, high on life, high in the sky. Oh, he's high on life. There we go. Yep. There's always one sort, isn't there? That's high on something. Me, where I just like to get high on crack and cocaine. To be honest, that's my jam. Look, guys, like, I'm just trying to work out what am I doing in this game. Stop attacking me everywhere I go, you absolute toffee-nosed donut. Toffee-nosed donut. I don't know if that's an insult. I mean, this guy, he's got some mad skills, but you're not gonna beat me in my rod. Oh, look at that, Sweepy Joe. Oh, you just done fucked up. Although health is becoming a bit of a concern. Again, if for anyone who don't remember, this is a permadeath game. So as soon as I die, it's the end of this samurai story. And yeah. Okay, I feel like I've gone the wrong way again. I keep going the wrong way. I think I just keep coming back to the same town over and over. Yeah, I thought I was going to Kuchihagahara. Kuchihagahara. Yeah. Similar as that, but again I've gone to the wrong place, I think. So let's go across to Castle Amana. High on life, natural high, from Defending the Game, I think so, from Nate Dogg at Defending the Game. Yeah, I think most highs are pretty a natural, you know, whether that's you know, on a mountain or eating mushrooms, you know, there's many highs. Kuchihagahara, which we're at now. This is the battlefield I was on before, I feel. I don't think I went to the road. Right. Without getting distracted, Rob, come on. You can do this. We're going to go west. So, west looks like either that little river to my left or going up and then through that path on the right and over the top. Let's see where that river to the left takes me. Can't get a feeling this is where I went before. It takes me to something called a castle. No, that takes me back to a Takatane village. So there's a bridge up there that I need to get to. Can I just run straight up this hill? Which I don't think this is that sort of game. I think I'm going to have to go around. Judith adds, really enjoyed the Nidhogg stream, partly because it was really funny, but I also liked it as Bard versus Bard. Yeah, I think that's one of the very few times on the whole channel that we've done something that's like 2-player, you know, 2 people playing something at the same time. So yeah, man, yeah, it's I think we're definitely gonna perhaps have another go on Nidhogg at some point, but definitely gonna do a lot more 2-playery stuff. We've been looking at different ways, because obviously one of our main problems on Twisted Bard Gaming is that both of us are in different places. I mean, all 3 of us are in different places. You know, I'm up in the Midlands, and those 2 are down sort of in the south lot of the country, and means that when it comes to, you know, 2-player things and all that kind of stuff, it just limits our options a lot more. But we have been finding we've got quite a lot of softwares and stuff that are going to make things a bit easier for us. So yeah, keep an eye out, and you'll definitely see a lot more from us playing games together, as opposed to, you know, us just sort of watching one person play or something. I think that's something that we want to do. Paddy's also recently bought an Xbox, which is great for us, because previously we never had a platform that we all shared. Whereas now, with him owning that, it's going to make things a bit easier for us. Because now we've all got like a platform we can all feasibly head on and play, and all play in the same game. We did actually do a stream on Thursday of the game Dead Island, which was all 3 of us playing at the same time. It was a co-op thing, but it wasn't like wasn't a competitive. So are you saying you'd probably like to see a lot more where it's us playing versus like each other, or are you saying it's probably you'd like to see a lot of games where it's us playing together? Okay, I have. Is there any way I can see what I'm supposed to do? Like status, events, job status. There are no jobs right now. Help! I need a big. Okay. Okie dokie. Smoky Goki. You got so many different stances and so many different things. I assume there's another faction I can join, which I don't think they like me. Oh no, this can go to the right. This is the guard leader. Okay. So that's what was at this place. So how do I get to the road from here? Judith, oh yes, I was there, darling. You were. I apologise. When I play things on the Xbox, I can't watch the chat because I'm sitting on the other side of the room, and I don't have a laptop. I only have a PC. So in order for me to watch the chat, I would have literally had to move all my PC over there. So yeah, it's just, I know Paddy was keeping an eye on the chat on our stream on Thursday, but but yeah, you're definitely keen on seeing more versus or stuff. So we'll definitely try and do that for you, like a bit more, a few more things where we play against each other competitively. Which I'll be honest with you, it's because we don't necessarily play much stuff competitively. I don't actually know who sort of like, not that it actually matters, but who's sort of like the more in general skilled gamers out of all 3 of us. I think when we play things together, we normally sort of do things on par. Oh, there's something going on up here. Let's have a little look see. Again, I can apologise or just sort of take part. Haha, Sharad, you are. Oh, I've got a tea which I think has gone cold, guys. It's really upsetting. Did I watch High School Musical yet? No, I'm afraid I haven't watched High School Musical yet. I've definitely had it on the list of things that I probably will not get round to watching, I'm afraid. Which seems awfully closed-minded of me, Judith, and I feel rude, but I wouldn't want to lie to you and say that I'm going to watch something, which I probably won't. You know, that's the kind of guy I am. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, you know, only be myself. I really need to start reading what people are saying. Right, Satsurin, I can read simply by looking at a person's face. You've got an interesting future indeed. It's almost as good you can become everything and nothing else. Yeah, great. Great. Yeah, the good news and bad news, guys. My partner made me a tea just before we started the stream. That's good news. Bad news is it's gone cold. So, if you could raise like a GoFundMe page or something, just like to help me with really hard times, that would be almost appreciated. Gonna be late to a tea party. I go by the alias of Setsuan. We shall meet again if it is written in the stars. Very good. Very good, Setsuan. You enjoy. Oh, what are you doing? Mask of. Oh. Yeah, yeah. I got you told, son. Okay, I have genuinely no toffee what to do now. I feel like I've gone to all 3 of those markers. I reckon I call this a day and go to the next day. Not the stream, the day, in-game day. In-game day? Although I am planning to sort of wind this down at some point, probably relatively soon. And then, but if you guys, if anyone here is interested, we'll be doing a live stream. I imagine a bit later if Paddy's feeling sociable enough and his voice is feeling beautiful enough, which I know he has to work on and maintain. So I shall check in with him. And if we do that, well, we should let you guys know through our Facebook and our socials. So if you're not on with them, feel free to check them out. Which I'm not going to read out like the link to you know how to check things for stuff. You do that. So I was trying to look on the map there. This a new game from Defending the Game? No, it's not a new game. Way of the Samurai 3 is like a PS3 era game. So it is a little bit older now. There is actually a Way of the Samurai 4. I'm currently playing this on PC. So no, that's appeared. That wasn't there for the thing, but just south of Kuchi Hagen. Honestly, I'm hating the pronunciation here. So I'm going to go south and then east to get to there. So at the moment, I need to go back on myself and to the right. And then go down here. So we are heading down a DFG. The guy, Nate, do you have a stream planned for later on, or are you guys having a night off? Hashtag love wins. Hashtag love always wins, mate. Okay, we're going to run over here. I believe I've gone the right way again. I really wish this had a mini map. Make my loud so. See, this looks like it's going to take me north, which is really confusing. Because that takes me back the way I come, right? Right? Because I was at something called road, right? Right? Right, what's up there? Is that north? Is this north? If I go this way? Yeah, it looks like it might be north, actually. But I don't want to go north, do I? I want to go east. Which the only one is east is right at the bottom. This is so confusing. The navigation on this game is really good. So that takes me to Guard Gate. Where the hell is Guard Gate? Didn't even know there's something called Guard Gate. Right, Guard Gate is to the south. Right? So for some reason, that direction takes me south. So I'm making, if I go up here and to the right. Defending the Game. Sorry, who did you ask? I was asking you, mate. Do you have a stream lined up for later on? So I know you guys are quite regular on the old streams, like especially over the weekends. Just curious. Okay, we have a cutscene going off here. Some dude praying.
I am sorry for your death.
I'm sorry for your death. Well, you know, as long as you didn't cause it.
But there is nothing that I can do right now.
Forgive me. I'm just gonna have a quick
for a while.
sip of drink. Enjoy the
It will happen.
the gameplay footage. Doing there.
Right.
Don't know why we went doing. Doing that didn't seem fair. All right. So for a dinner or tonight, I'm probably gonna have to cook some food soon because my partner will be getting very hungry soon. I normally have to feed her about 6:30, but I'm sure she understands that. She's very understanding of the whole streaming, you know, YouTubey stuff, and she's very supportive of me, and I think that's brilliant. So I should pay her in kind and probably should feed her some food in a bit, guys. So I'm gonna. DFG said, when I say DFG, I don't know why I put the F in there, but it just sounds better than DTG. I'd struggle saying DTG, so I'm going to start referring you to by your full name, defending the game, says, Fridays are stream days. So Fridays are your stream days, right? So, yeah, if anyone's here and they are looking for other YouTube channels, highly recommend defending the game. We had them for the One Life review that we uploaded yesterday for Dark Souls 3, which if you get a chance to watch that, it's one of the One Life reviews. Probably I'd say in my top 5. Well, I'm not saying that I don't enjoy all of the One Life reviews, but there's some that I enjoy more so than others. And that, yeah, we had a good one. So yeah, anyone else here, feel free to check out defending the game. If you enjoy our stuff, you'll probably enjoy their stuff a little bit more. So, right, so now it looks like I'm gonna have to wind the end of the day on this one. There's a thing I can do over there, but I think that's with the other a faction I've already pledged myself to one. So I'm going to go back to Takatane village and rest my weary head. Takatane village, yeah, that's what I want to go to. For some reason it's there. Dun 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 dun. After nearly streaming 7 hours of Doki Doki last night until 5 AM, we won't be streaming until 5 again. I think that's pretty fair. 7 hours is a long stream. Like, how did you poo? Out of curiosity. Scoutmas asks, you're a fellow Shenmue fan? I am a Shenmue nut, to be fair. I love that game more than it probably this guy's going for me. So yeah, Shenmue. There's been a very good reason why I haven't touched it on this channel. Is I want to do it. I want to do it a justice. I want to do a video that's not just me half-arsing it. I want to do something well. And for me, I haven't seen many great YouTube videos on Shenmue out there. So I would love to do something on it, and I do plan to at some point. I just look at my blood too. I'm taking his sword though. Look at me. He's got. Yeah, I actually own the original Shenmue still on Dreamcast. I actually had a while where I had to emulate it and stuff, but I actually found a copy of Shenmue 2. Oh no, sorry, not Shenmue 2, because that's really hard to find. But I found a copy of the original Shenmue on the Dreamcast. Weirdly enough, in a CEX, and I bought it in there. It was only about half a year ago for £35, which, when you look online, to get a used copy of a Shenmue is normally about 60 quid. I really hope they provided some HD remasters before the third one heads out. Yeah, I think those games were just so brilliant, and it was the first. For me, it was the one game that transcended me from someone who really enjoys playing video games to someone who's I could probably say, I hate the term a gamer. I don't enjoy it, but someone who's really avid about it. It's the first game that really connected with me, and I sort of got attached to, and I was part of the campaign for Shenmue 3. Being sort of quite an active part of the community, and waiting for a game to come out and for it to get announced 16 years after. I'm 32. Oh well, I'm 31, almost 32 now, and that's half of my whole life I've been waiting for a video game. So when Shenmue 3 comes out, I'm sure it won't be as good, and it will be a disappointment. Loads of people will feel a letdown, but you know what? I'm still going to be there at day one, and there'll be bits where I go, okay, that's not what I expected. But you know what? I know what I'm like. I'm probably going to walk away from that, trying to draw all of the positives out of it, and I'll be as biased as hell. I'm sure I will be. So, Scoutmaster Grease says he probably loves it more than it probably deserves. Yeah. Defending Games says he's never played the series, which I wholly recommend. I mean, it's one of those ones where some people say it hasn't dated well. Some people say it has. I think when you play it, when you look at the footage, and if you ever do play it, you got to always tell yourself this is the year 2000. I think the first one it was over 99 or 2000. But anyway, it's around about that area. And for the other games that are on offer around that time, Shenmue was so bold, and yeah, the story's a bit by the numbers. You know, it's a bit like, you know, you killed my father, so I'm going to avenge yourself. But it tries some really nice things in the story, and it's got a lot of things wrong with it in terms of the pacing and all the other bits and pieces. But it's just, I don't know, I can't even describe fully why that game has seemed to capture as many people as it has, and I think it's got this whole a tone to it that lets you absorb specifically Japanese culture, and obviously in the second one Chinese culture, in a very way that's easy to digest from a Westerner, and there's quite a nice introduction to it. Yeah, Scouse Mouse said he's probably going to do something in the lead up to Shenmue 3's release, which again, if anyone on this stream, you know, non-creators or even creators out there, you get a chance and you haven't heard of him, go and check out Scouse Mouse's work. He does brilliant videos, and he's a very regular Let's Player and streamer. And I come onto your stream for a little bit last night. Really enjoyed what I watched it, and even though you weren't that you felt like you've done a better work, I still really enjoyed it. You're very engaging and very watchable. So yeah, definitely worth checking out if you're on this stream and looking for a few channels to add to your subscriber list. Definitely another one that's definitely worth being on there. So let's go back to our map and have a quick look and see what we can do. See what we can do here. So there's a few things popped up today. We've got go back to Kuchikara Hagajara. So let's go there first, which I have to admit I don't necessarily know the way there, but I'm going to work it out this time. Yeah, defending the game saying he's watched speedruns of Shenmue. Scouse Mouse is a bit concerned that they're probably going to push it back, and he wasn't aware that actually it cost quite a lot to buy the original one on the Dreamcast. Yeah, if you have a look at it, try and buy it online. It's a really hard game to buy online at a reasonable price. Even worse is the original Dreamcast version of Shenmue 2, because that obviously wasn't released. That was only released in Europe and Japan, wasn't released in America. And I mean, you're looking over about £100 to get a Dreamcast. A copy of Shenmue 2, which, like I said, I'd love to do stuff on the channel for it, but I always find when I emulate it, it's very dodgy, and I'm not sure if I'm right to, you know, like if I personally feel alright putting that up there, going, actually this is a representation of Shenmue as a game, when it's probably not. Right, it seems like the way I've got to go is like south and to, so if I go run down here and follow the wall on the right, that should eventually get me to where I need to be. Yeah, Scouse Mouse agrees that it's not very often the game is good enough to warrant him being just excited for a sequel that's 16 years old, which, yeah, I completely agree. I mean, there's no way that it's kind of like Half-Life 3, isn't it? There's no, even though they've made Half-Life 3, there's no way it would be able to live up to the hype, because games that, you know, in the same way as Shenmue, first-person shooters have moved on a long way since, as much as open world games have moved on a lot since Shenmue. So I've always sort of tried to think about how would Shenmue move forward enough to be able to sort of stamp its mark in modern games while still staying true to the series, which I think is going to be really hard for it to do. So I reckon it's going to be one of those ones a lot of people see as a disappointment, but unfortunately I'm probably die hard enough that I don't really care. I just, oh my god, I'm in a fight again. You know, I'm going to switch my sword. I'm going to go back to Samurai Sword. And why do you just randomly attack me? I was just here to make friends. Come to this town just to get away for a bit. I see the sights. Okay. Do you guys want to fight me? Okay. Everyone done? You two can have a fight. I'm going to warn you guys. I'm going to go to guard gate. Scouse Mouse mentioned it in his top 5 vid that he did. I remember, I think, yeah, I mean, I know you didn't do it in order, but I remember it being like your third entry in there, and that's the first time I realised that you were someone who was sort of a lot up on the franchise. So I was like, oh, that's really great. We'll have to work on something around that in the future. Something I'd like to do, something that I'm personally going to try and do, is I'd like to do a full walkthrough of Shenmue, but I'd like to, as opposed to me play it and sort of, you know, head for it, I'd like to get on a stream with somebody who hasn't played it and show them to it and show them it and sort of get what their thoughts and feelings are about it. So I know Paddy and Al haven't yet played it, so I'm gonna see if I can, you know, because we're a little bit lacking in resources at the moment when it comes to capture cards, all that kind of stuff. There's only, you know, Al's got one, I've got one, but it's not that great at streaming and all that kind of stuff. So once we're all geared up, I really hope, and hopefully if they do a HD re-release of the first two, I'd love to come in and just do a full, you know, walkthrough let's play of someone else playing it. I'd enjoy that quite a lot. That would be for my own personal sort of a benefit, really, more than anyone else's. So that takes me back to Castle Minonori. So yeah, I mean, defending the game, Nate makes a great point that it's kind of like a Sonic Mania, although obviously, like you say, Sonic Mania's had a lot of games over the years. It's kind of that Sonic Mania was the successor, really, to. I mean, you say a Sonic and Knuckles. I'd probably say it's more the sequel to. What was it? What was the Sonic CD? The one on the Sega CD? I'd say that I think that was like the sort of next one beyond Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but I could be wrong. You know what? I'm worried I've run the wrong way again. No, I've gone somewhere. Yeah.
You won't see forgiveness today.
Scoutmaster got I like the idea. So yeah, we'll have to do it now. I'm going to treat it as a fan request, even though, you know, it's strictly not. But I'm gonna claim it is just to get their arms twisted behind their back and play on that. Scoutmaster has played the game a lot, and you've never beaten Chai. So have you never finished the first game? Just curious there. If you've never beaten Chai, how have you finished the game? Am I going mad? DFG volunteers a tribute. And Scoutman is saying he had a feeling they did a re-release, a HD re-release on Xbox, but only Shenmue 1, I think. And I don't know if it's that low. Yeah, it was actually on the original Xbox. It was Shenmue 2 they re-released because Shenmue 2 didn't get a release in the US, and obviously there had a lot of friends in the US, a lot of fans in the US who'd played on the first one in America, then couldn't on the Dreamcast, and then couldn't get hold of the second one, so they ported it out to the Xbox. Unfortunately, the original Shenmue you cannot buy on Xbox. That has not been released outside of the Dreamcast. But I'd like to see, you know, true authentic HD re-releases. It's absolutely fine if it's just on PS4, but it'd be great to see it on both PS4 like on Xbox. I shall punish those who do evil. I think that's a fair point. I shall punish those who do evil. Is this the guy who I trained before?
Do you really mean to defy us?
Okay.
To defy us is to defy our children. You will die here.
Scoutmaster. Oh. It's optional whether you win or not, and he's crazy. Yeah, he is crazy hard. Are you talking about the bit where you fight him in the arcade? Is that the bit that you're talking about? Because yeah, I've won that fight in the arcade only a couple of times. That is really hard. But you also fight him again right at the end of the game. Did you? I assume you beat him then. Alistair's joined us. Alistair, welcome, Al. Nice to see you here, buddy. I've missed your presence. Who let Rob back on the internet? Well, someone has, I assume. I pay my bill. I pay my talk bill.
Don't get carried,
you know, and that's what that is. And Paddy's saying hi to Al, which, you know, that's the only thing that he has to say to him. He couldn't add anything onto that. Hi Al, how's your day? It's just hi Al. He doesn't care, Al. He doesn't care about you or all your feelings. Renegade for life. So.
I know you meant well, but sticking your nose in this village's business won't help.
Sticking your nose in this village's business won't help. Well, you know what? They were going to slice you up, weren't they, mate? So, tough. I helped. You're welcome.
What do you think will happen to the village?
It will burn to the ground because you're an absolute bloody donut.
This cannot be solved by
Because anyone who tries and help you, you just bitch at them for like 20 minutes. That will only bring more trouble. Well, you know, don't live in feudal fucking Japan then. Move to like, I don't know, what a country was relatively okay to live in during the times of feudal Japan. I don't know. Go to like, I don't know. Actually, the world was pretty fucked during that period. There was nowhere that was actually that fun. Imagine somewhere like Switzerland would probably be quite nice during that region. I can't remember anything that bad going down around there. What's going on there? Why are they chasing? Why are they running? I'm curious. Why are you running? Why are you running? Why are you running? Talk to me. Because I am. You're the one being rude. Come on, talk to me. Whatever. Whatevs. What's this say? Munichi. All right. You had your chance. Fuck off. Right. All you did was cause trouble. After I went the way to help you. Samurai is offended. Scouse Mouse. Yeah, I meant the arcade fight. Yeah, I've completed it a ton of times. Do you have a preference, Scouse Mouse, between Shenmue 1 and 2? Is there one that you'd say is actually, you know, because I kind of really enjoy both of them. Personally, I think the first one is so authentic. I mean, it's so like, I love the way they've done Japan. I like the dull tones of it. I like the feeling of the, you know, walking around the little Dobuita they made there. And then on Shenmue 2, I like that for different reasons. I like the fact it's got the Japanese voice acting, because, you know, yeah, the English voice acting in the first one's somewhat endearing, but it does get a little bit too much at times. And I do find the endearing. Sorry, you know what, I'm running around randomly again. I get so focused on talking to you guys that I don't actually pay attention to what I'm playing on. But yeah, I think Shenmue 2 is one of those ones that I actually really enjoyed. I know there's a couple of people who played the first one but didn't actually like the second one, but I really enjoyed the second one as well. I enjoyed that it was more expansive than the first one. I enjoyed that it had Japanese voice acting, which just gives more weight and levity to all of the characters and all the scenes. Yeah, just what a game. And you know what, a lot of people criticising like the end of the second game, but if you remember, it came in discs, and it came with 4 discs, and basically the first 2 discs were in Hong Kong, the third disc was in Kowloon, and then the final disc was where you went to Guilin, and it was all very slow and very slow paced, and everyone got really kind of disturbed by that. But I actually really enjoyed that part where you're hanging out with Shenhua and all that kind of stuff. Really, really, really good. Scousmouse added he really enjoyed both. His strongest memory is probably of the first one, and I've played it the most. 2 is definitely a bigger. He agrees with that. Okay, I think I'm doing this bit again. I didn't realise I did it wrong. Scousmouse says he never picked it up on it when he was a kid, but apparently he's very anti-Chinese people. Is it? What do you say that? I mean, it seems to me like Yu Suzuki, when he made it, he did it as a very much a love letter to Chinese martial arts and all that kind of stuff. The amount of references he tries to put to Chinese values in it, you know, around, you know, even like things like the 4 blades, 4 wood. I've never read that personally, but there must be something in there that I personally didn't pick up on, that people view it as a kind of, you know, in that way. But yeah, that's really interesting. I would absolutely I'd love to hear more on that. I mean, I personally, when I played for it, I thought very much it was a way of you know, Japan and China, who haven't had the greatest relationship in the past, you know, of someone who is Japanese having a really strong interest in Chinese culture, from moving the first game in Japan to China, where Rio is you know, learning a lot about like the values of Chinese martial arts. I think, I don't know, it's one of those things that I'd be really interested to hear what people's thoughts are on that. I feel like I've done this fight before, but I must have done something wrong. So I'm going to pay attention when it gets to the end of this fight, just to make sure I'm not doing it. Oh, I'm almost dead actually. I did not realise that. Probably shouldn't have gotten this fight. I've got no health. No way to restore my health either. Oh, womp womp. And that is the end of George, I'm afraid. That is the end of George. He died a death. He lived a lot more better samurai life than our first samurai, Derek. Although he got the exact same rank, exact same score. Well, following points will be deducted from your samurai points. Villainous act equals 2, so I get minus 100 samurai points. So that puts my samurai points to minus 50, which is actually a lower score. So through the past hour of playing Way of the Samurai, I've managed to achieve less than what I did in the 2 minutes of when I first played Way of the Samurai, where I literally just walked into it, started 2 fights, and I got killed by the second one. That was more noble than what I've just done. So yeah, there we go. There we go. Scouse just on the back of that conversation around Shenmue. It sounds like that I'm a huge fan. But did you know Debut is a real place in Japan? And I mean, I've seen some of the fan pictures of when the fans have had, which I think that's what you say there, isn't it? Yeah, the fans who go out there, and it's really, really spot on. I think another thing they do in that game that I just think is just, you know, one of those little things they do in games where you're like, oh, that's mwah. You know, beautiful little touches was they actually like the in-game weather is the same weather that was on those dates in that location in 1986. So like the game's set in 1986, and it's each day you go from, I think it starts at the end of November. It's like it says like the 28th of November, and the weather is the same as the weather was on the 28th of November 1986 in Dobuita, which I just think, just those little things. I just think that's one of those things. Judith seems a little bit upset that George is gone. George is gone. I think I definitely need to take more time to learn the mechanics on this game, because I feel like I've kind of just skirted around it really. But we did have an hour and 15 minutes of play time. We did kill 15 folks. We managed to villain twice. Shameful slash, the number of people, total number of people given a shameful slash. Not totally sure what that is, but apparently we did it once. I kicked 3 dead bodies, which, is great. I apologised once, which I feel is the only number of times that you need to apologise. You should only do it once, not twice. Had 21 conversations. I killed 3.85% of the whole population. By the looks, percentage of people killed 3.85. That says out of all the people that you could possibly kill. So sounds like to me you could probably go through the game and just kill everyone, and then there'd be no one left. I consumed 66.67% of my health in vegetables. I discarded 2 items. I spent some money. It made 10 yen. I lost some money. Yeah, all good. I collided with 1 woman and 10 men. I don't know what that says. So yeah, let's go back to the save screen. So I think what I'm going to do there, guys and girls, I am going to call that the end of my stream. I really appreciate you guys heading along. I really do. It's my first one I've done by myself, so I appreciate you guys helping me through that, because I know it's a very hard thing to do when you've got no one there in chat and you've got no one to talk to. and stuff. So I really do appreciate it. You guys are coming along. If you are not doing anything later on, please feel free to come back. Sort of, I imagine sort of any time after 10 at GMT, we'll probably be doing another live stream that will involve either me and Paddy or me and Al or me, Al and Paddy all playing on something and having a bit of a giggle. You can come along and tell them how good this one was, and in fact that the one we do later is dropped in quality. So I can go through my day feeling a little bit better for myself. Thank you, Scouse Mouse. You've been brilliant. Thank you, Judith. You've been great. Thank you, Defending the Game. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Paddy. Yeah, I fucking love the shit out of you. And Al, yeah. No, Al, I love you as well. You're a fucking beautiful guy. So yeah, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall catch you guys whenever the next time that I decide how to do this. Okay, guys. See you later. How do I stop it? There we go.